Man, in 2025, I realize we put way too much weight into what people say rather than the reality of the situation or the actions, the physical manifestation of what actually is happening. We give way too much power to words. And, as someone that has a balance between how much power I put into words and how much power I put into reality, simply just because I observe a lot more than I talk. If I don't have an understanding of something, I won't say anything. When I'm in a new public setting and there's a bunch of things that I don't understand, I'm willing to just look around and learn and adopt my own opinions rather than waiting for someone to say something so I can latch on to theirs. I don't know if it's like the age of social media or just the fact that most of what's on display is people's opinions. The most followed TikTok accounts that, in a lot of ways, replace the news are just regular people reporting on things, and they can always sprinkle their own ideologies into everything that they're giving you guys. And just the age of engagement, right? It doesn't matter if what you're saying is logical. It doesn't matter if what you're saying even reflects your actual opinions, but go online and just say stupid shit, and a bunch of people who agree with each other but would never know each other or be in a room full of those same types of people that share that opinion for that opinion to thrive can come together and give off the illusion that there's this vast number of people that think that this one opinion is the greatest thing since sliced bread, even though the reality is they're all fucking stupid. The reality is I just think we put way too much merit into what people say and their words rather than just observing and taking time to look at the bigger picture in life. So yesterday I was talking to some friends, and he was basically complaining about going to the gym, and I guess he's trying to pump a bunch of fucking iron and shit. If it wasn't more obvious that I don't go to the gym, yeah. But yeah, he's trying to pump iron, and then this girl wearing like some tight ass Lululemon tight shorts is just sitting there bouncing two medicine balls in front of him while he's trying to work out. Essentially, he was implying that the girl wore skimp clothing to go to the gym and get attention, and he doesn't like that. Mind you, just a little side note. This is the same dude that's Mr. Where the Bitches at, bro. And quite frankly, like, he loves when women subject themselves to that type of stuff. I'm just gonna be real, man. He can't even cap to me. Like, it's all good. I just think that one of two things could have been the case in this situation. Either the girl didn't look that good, or it was annoying because he was in the middle of working out, which is very fair, but so he was basically saying like, yo, like, I don't really like that women do this. We're at the gym, man. You come here to lift weights and you come here to get yourself right. You don't come here to look for attention and sexualize yourself and do this. It's so obvious that she's doing this to get my attention. And granted, I don't know what happened because I wasn't there, but I was like, yeah, pretty much she went there to probably go get your attention. I don't know why people think that specific archetypes of people are only limited to one environment. Girls don't only go to the club to get attention, they go to where men are going to be at to get attention in general. Now, will the club dictate the levels to which they're trying to get this man's attention, or dictate the way that they try to get men's attention? Yeah, obviously there's a club where people are dancing, and the goal is to basically go out and get women. Let's be real, that's how clubs make their money. In comparison to a gym, to where it's like, okay, yeah, there's men here, yeah, I'm trying to get their attention, but things are a little bit more reserved here. It's the gym. At the end of the day, the primary reason people are here isn't to get women, so they're not going to take the same approach there that they would in other places. But men go to the gym for attention, women go to the gym for attention. I don't even think that's limited to a gender thing. I think that's just human nature to go where people are at socially and want to get attention, right? That's not a new concept. Now, while I couldn't fact check what he was saying, I agree. Like, yeah, sometimes women can probably go to the gym and want to get attention. I think that's normal. I was like, yo, like, what's the problem with that? And he said to me, see, but the thing is, women, they always complain about not wanting to be sexualized, and they don't want a man to treat them in that way, and yet they're going to the gym and they're throwing these two fucking bowling balls in my face. Like, why do they do that if they have this narrative that they don't like to be sexualized? And I was like, dude, people can lie? Like, Well, first of all, okay, let's acknowledge that the rhetoric spoken by maybe one or two women or a few women or even thousands of women on social media that they don't like to be sexualized doesn't reflect the opinions of every single woman. Oh God, what the doesn't affect the opinion of every single woman, right? I think that we can just agree on. But even if it did, people need to understand that there's something that, I didn't really think of like a crazy term for it right now. I'm just going to make one off the top of my head. There's something called socially acceptable opinions. And if you want to get a little deeper than that, socially acceptable reasons to have opinions. People can dislike something as a concept, but just not dislike it enough to where they're not willing to benefit from that thing. Prime example, and we're going to do one for each gender, so people don't say I'm sexist and shit. Most women that you talk to will tell you that they don't like to be sexualized. If a man went up to them and said like, yo, ma, you got a fat old ass, da 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 da, let me grab that. Like, obviously that's uncomfortable, that's weird. Of course you're not going to go for that. They cannot like the idea of being sexualized, but often still want to benefit from the attention of sexualization. Women with boyfriends still can wear skimp attire to go out to the club and go to the gym. Men all day will be like, oh, I ain't gonna lie, I can't mess with no gold digger. Like, she just want me for my money, da 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 da. And then they'll take a girl out on a first date in like the most price maxed fit that they could come up with, take her to the most expensive restaurant in their city and pay for her and him, and then get upset like, oh damn, like she only want me for my money. Like, my man, you don't like girls that want you for your money, but was it to the point where you're not willing to present yourself to be this guy that will probably receive the outcome that he doesn't want? And it's not to say that these dudes and girls don't actually dislike the things that they're talking about, right? I'm not trying to say that women are lying about not being sexualized or men are lying about not liking gold diggers, but there's levels to not liking something. There's standing on it 100% to the point where a dude is like, yo, I don't like gold diggers, so I will put on the shittiest fit ever because I don't want to attract those types of women. And then there are girls that are like, I hate being sexualized. And so they wear like, I don't know, some goddamn Gap baggy ass pants and cover up their curves and shit. It's just that most men and women are not those things. It's like, I don't like the fact that gold digging happens. I don't like the fact that sexualization happens. But if I can benefit from it, then yeah, I'm here for it. But the point is, my friend was bringing up like, I hate that women will be like, they don't like to be sexualized and then wear these things to the gym to try to get my attention. And I just had to like kind of explain to him like, yo, bro, people's opinions and what they say might not actually reflect, or at least completely reflect, how they actually feel, right? Like, people can get so emotional about these types of things just because they're going based off of rhetoric that they heard online or going based off of what most people are saying. People can lie. Even if someone did like gold diggers because they just wanted the attention or like the benefits of the attention, or someone did like being sexualized because same thing, they just like the attention. Do you know how weird it would be to go up to people and be like, yo, like, I love being sexualized. It makes me feel so good. And even if you did feel like let's say and even then, let's say you didn't care about that opinion at all. If a bunch of women went around saying they like to be sexualized, that would breed a way worse world than what we're living in right now, where girls probably couldn't travel without a man, where they'd have to make a separate Uber app specifically for girls. But I don't know, man, it's just so interesting how there's a subsection of people that actually take what people say completely serious without actually looking into this situation. Like, oh, she said she doesn't like this? I'm out of here. Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, I believe her, that's what it is. And then they're trying to like put their actions in public up against what they're saying, and it's just like, oh, it doesn't make sense. They're just blowing a fuse in their head, and it's just like, bro, like, there's so much nuance to it. Reality is, even if people agreed with you, if you said that in a conversation, they're gonna look at you like you're fucking crazy. Like, one time I was out on a date with this girl, and she straight up told me, she was like, yo, it's hard for me to understand whether you like me or not because you don't sexualize me. I was like, really, what do you mean? She was like, I legit don't feel seen unless I'm sexualized. And I could tell that it felt like it took a lot for her to say that, but I completely understood where she was coming from. Completely. I think a lot of women feel that same way. They're just not willing to admit it because that's like too vulnerable of a subject, and that would make people look at them crazy. But like, when she said that to me, yeah, I found that sad on the inside, but I didn't make a big deal out of it, and she made a big deal out of the fact that I didn't make a big deal out of it, because like, I just understand the mind. It's not unrealistic that people feel this way. And I know that some people feel this way, but people just aren't going to say it all the time. But yeah, I just feel like people should put a little less merit into what people say all the time, bro. Like, take it with a grain of salt. Look at the entire picture before you come to any sort of conclusion. Even down to, like, just having certain opinions. There are legit people you'll meet in real life, have a beautiful vibe with, beautiful friendship with, but you have no opinion on, like, global conflict that's going on right now. You don't agree with who they voted for, or like they don't agree with who you voted for as a political candidate, and it's like, yo, they'll end it right there. These are the stakes that we are living on, to where I can understand why people put so much merit in what people say and feel obligated to have certain opinions that just resonate with the opinions of the majority. People are losing friends and family over their political opinions. Like, these are just where the stakes are at. And you think I'm gonna walk around believing that every single person out in public really believes all the opinions that they have on these global conflicts and just everything, and just being woke and having an opinion on everything? And sometimes you can believe them, but then the moment you start asking them questions about why they believe what they believe, eventually what you come to find out is they didn't think for themselves. They don't really put thought into it at all. They're just in an echo chamber where a bunch of their friends believe this opinion and say that you're a good person if you have this opinion. And so they don't even think about adopting anything else. And so they don't even second guess adopting those same opinions, the same way that we wouldn't second guess the idea that murder is bad. Because, like, we know murder is bad. In their head, their political opinions and me thinking murder is bad are both the same amount of objective, even though they're not. But to wrap this up, I'm not going to say that you guys shouldn't take words seriously, because you absolutely should. Just understand that the words people speak are not the end-all be-all. Listen to what people say, take it with a grain of salt, be like, okay, you said this, cool. And then just observe if everything that they're saying can be put to the test. Observe if there's maybe some sort of incentivization for them to feel this way. And I promise you, you'll just look at a lot of things in a way more simplified sense than you do. You'll stop getting rage baited on Twitter when you realize that people are incentivized to say it for engagement. You'll stop getting offended about women saying that they don't like being sexualized even though they go to the gym wearing basically nothing, because you understand that the status quo is to have the opinion that you don't like being sexualized, even though I feel like a lot of people probably do. And understand that the reason that a lot of men don't like gold diggers, even though they'll gladly take care of one, is because they just like feeling seen by a woman in general, and they lead with money because money is the concept that we were taught is the most important thing our entire lives. So what else can they lead with? They spent their whole lives getting money, and now you're trying to tell them that women like him for him? Like, no, obviously he comes from an environment where a lot of importance was placed on money, and this is something that was probably instilled into him based upon his environment and his own lived experiences. Not everything is objective, and just understand that there's a reason for everything. That's pretty much the point of the video here. Yeah, once again, you guys comment, let me know what you think, and follow me everywhere, and later, guys.